Hello and welcome to Space Between Ideas. Hello and welcome to Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. Welcome to another edition of Thinking Tools and Thinking Concepts. Imagine that you are walking across a river and suddenly you see a large chunk of gold. The question is, how did you recognize that that was gold? Right? And that's the main issue, is how do you develop the ability to know that you understand what you're seeing, or develop the ability to see things and understand what they really are. That is why we learn thinking tools and thinking techniques. It's so that we can recognize the world around us. Remember, we're talking about something called output, input, scenarios, and choice. Output, we're talking about what? What is our business producing? What are we doing? What kind of systems do we have? Input. Input is very important because it's this thing in the book, Create Crucial Insight. It's this thing about interactions. It's about motivation, and it's about resources. It's this thing that Dr. Buckholtz calls shaping potential. So when you see that gold in the river, you see something that can be shaped. You see potential. You see something that can be traded. You see something that has value. And I was watching YouTube, sometimes they recommend videos, and I saw a piece of gold in the river. Before we talk about that piece of gold, let's just back up and talk about a few of the ideas that we've been talking about recently, so that we can bring in the thinking tools and the thinking frameworks, so that when I show you this piece of gold, you'll recognize it for what it really is. Recently, we've been talking about the state styles direct outcomes checklist, and the concept particularly that we've been focused on is this concept of how to create processes and this value chain of processes. So you have, for example, creating a new process, or making your process a little better, automating your processes. And these are all things that we have to do for our processes. But it's like, okay, but that's kind of abstract. Yeah, I have processes. Okay, can you give me an example? And so we use this metaphor of fishing. We talked about how do we identify a target, and then how do we locate that target, and then how do we attract that target, and then how do we get that target to bite, and then how do we get the hook, and then how do we pull them in, all right? But okay, that's a little less abstract, but that's a metaphor, so that's still not very specific. Okay, and then we talked about what is inbound marketing, all right? Inbound marketing, 3 things: attract, engage, delight. All right, but attract, yeah, we're still using the metaphor. We just changed the words a little bit. Attract, okay, engage, okay, delight. And when we talk about marketing, we're more focused on the first 2. So when we talk about attracting the fish, attract. When we talk about getting the fish to bite, we're talking about engage. When we put in the hook, that's obviously engage. All right, but this is still a little bit abstract. So can we get a little more specific? All right, so then we have something called a sales funnel. And what is the sales funnel? If we start at the very top, for example, we want people to know us. We want people to know what it is that we're selling. We want people to understand how our solution helps them with their need, or with their challenge, or their problem. All right, so then they kind of get to know you, and then as they start to look at your website, or perhaps they're only looking at your social media, or maybe even just your shorts, not even your videos, or like you're sharing something, and they start to like. Maybe they press the like button once, and then they press the like button twice, and then they press the like button 20 times, and eventually they share a comment. And they're moving from like to trust. At some point, you want to give them something that they can try. And then as they start to try it, they're trusting you, they're trying it, and at some point, they go ahead and move to the section of buy. All of these things we've talked about in the past, and We can then put it into, remember we were talking about these 3 different levels of planning. At the top level, we have the brain, we have the CEO, and they're talking to the marketing manager and they're saying, all right, we're going to start with these. We got to set up some goals, like specifically, what is it that we're trying to achieve with our marketing campaign? And then the marketing manager goes back to their office, and then they're at the brain level where they're trying to create the plans, like exactly who do we need in order to achieve these goals. And they start to, then they put in an order in the HR for 3 new employees, somebody that can do trends research, somebody that can create optimized posts, somebody that can comment and reply to comments. And then we go to the next level. So this is the interaction between the marketing manager and these 3 people. All right. So now we give them specific things. All right. So every day for 1 hour, you're going to reply to comments. And this is the procedure that's going to help you to do that thing. All right. Like that's very specific, but okay. But now it's almost like we're too specific. We're like down to the very specific task, but like what, let's go back to the CEO level, or let's go back to the marketing manager level. Like I need some kind of map. Remember, output, input, scenarios, choice. When we talk about these things, what we're doing is first we declare the output. What is it that we want to achieve? And next we talk about the input. And when we move between input and scenarios, we're trying to build a map. We're trying to create some understanding of the world around us. And then once we have a clear understanding of the scenarios, we can decide on which of these scenarios will actually get us to the goals that we want to achieve. So now we get to the gold. So I saw this video. It's a guy named Deiss. He says that their holding company manages $200 million and they are running 17 companies. Okay, but let me see the gold. You know, it doesn't matter what you say about yourself, but it matters if you can show me something and it actually is gold. And he delivered. At the 14-minute and 55-second mark, he shows this image of this thing. So he actually takes all of these like metaphors and these concepts of inbound marketing and phishing and sales funnels and meetings and all these things, and he just puts it in a very simple map. If you look at the image, what you see is basically 5 columns. In his first column, it says Facebook, Instagram ads, Google ads, Instagram stories, and Reels. All right, so there's 3 levels here. I mean, 3 ideas. You can do Facebook ads if you have a big Facebook group, or if you're familiar with Facebook and you think that this is a great thing to do for your business, then, you know, Facebook requires a big budget. Or if you're using Google ads, if you're a local business, particularly if you're a local business, then Google ads is going to send traffic to you for the people who live near to you. Or Instagram stories and Reels. That's a free way to get started and start to learn how to create ads and create what? Attention. Get people to know you. Get people to like you. That is about attracting attention. And to be able to create the right posts or the right ads, you have to also decide on what is your target and also the location where you're going to be placing those ads. You're going to be making a lot of decisions in the ad process for who you want to attract. If you look at the second column, what they're giving is some kind of 7-day Mommy Fit Challenge startup page. All right, so this is the first video, and I think we should make 2 videos because I like to keep these videos under 10 minutes. So I'll see you in the next video.